And our lead this hour coming from the Watson dossier, the ever-changing chain of events for the embattled Texans quarterback. I continue to be fascinated by the daily developments. And if you've not heard the latest, it continues to change. Time for our obligatory MALLER monologue on Deshaun Watson. Now, we told you in a previous episode that one of the plaintiffs had dropped her case against Watson. The lawsuit total that he was facing went from 22 down to 21. Well, we can update that now. Less than 24 hours after that lawsuit was dropped, a different woman, a separate woman, has stepped up to file a civil case against Watson. So if you're keeping score, the total number on your scorecard of lawsuits against Deshaun Watson has returned to 22. That's 3 touchdowns and 1 2-point conversion if you're a football fan. Now, the latest coming from a Houston makeup artist, and it certainly follows the pattern of the other lawsuits. The MO continues. These have the same signature. This particular lawsuit filed on Wednesday. I'll give you the brief recap here. The woman said Watson reached out to her in September 2020 asking if she was an esthetician and all that, and she replied that she was not. And she says Watson then asked if she provided massage, and she said she did. According to the lawsuit, the woman claims that Watson told her to dress comfortably in yoga pants or workout clothes, and she showed up at his house, and she reminded the NFL quarterback that she was not a licensed massage therapist, according to her lawsuit, but he didn't give a damn, and he wanted a Swedish massage. He asked for the Swedish massage. And then after massaging Watson's upper thighs and his glutes, according to the lawsuit, at his instruction for nearly an hour, he would then flip over fully naked, and according to the lawsuit, his anaconda was exposed. They were cleaning this up for the radio. Then Watson allegedly directed the woman, not a trained masseuse, to go closer to his, again, we've got to clean this up for the radio, move a little bit closer to his other brain and his keister. And repeatedly made the request, the lawsuit states. She wanted to remain professional, she said, in the lawsuit, but Watson encouraged her to grab the old fire hose, and she said Watson paid her $160 via a Cash App, and she walked downstairs to leave and all that stuff. She claims that he groped her and all that stuff, according to the lawsuit. Well, Watson contacted this woman again in November, and she came back for a second massage. And according to this lawsuit, she says Watson started the massage by laying naked on a bath towel placed on the floor face up, and his free willy was exposed there, according to the lawsuit here. The woman claims that she was pressured and mentally beaten by Watson there. That's what she says in the lawsuit. If you believe it, fine. If not, fine too. She felt powerless, she says, in the lawsuit. And she says she helped Watson. How do we clean this one up? How about some manual stimulation, some manual physical stimulation? And then Watson, I'll clean this part up too. He gave the woman an added gift, an unexpected gift. He gave her some extra tartar sauce, apparently there at the end.
Jerk yourself away.
So, I think we've cleaned that up successfully. Now, that is actually small fry. You think that's another problem for Watson, but that's a civil lawsuit. The big bombshell revelation came from Tony Busby, and this is in the Washington Post, I believe this comes from. He did an interview, and the lawyer leading the lawsuit brigade against Deshaun Watson says that not one, but 5 of his clients have spoken to the Houston Police Department regarding possible criminal charges against Watson. Like he's a serial creepster going around. So 5 of his clients, that's new information. So let us discuss. All right, the question. Where are you at on the latest revelations for Deshaun Watson? So I've got Limbo, Bubble Bath, and Netflix. And we will connect everything together. Now, first of all, Deshaun Watson's camp thought they got to win. We mentioned that. They thought they had got to win. Rusty Hardin, very powerful, high-paid, very successful defense attorney, he made sure to let NFL media, the mouthpiece of the NFL football media world there, let them know that a lawsuit had been dropped. After it was revealed, the accusers had to identify themselves. We mentioned that. But that was seen as a good day. And then reality immediately came back and just slapped Deshaun Watson in the face, right? Watson took one step forward, two steps back with the makeup artist lawsuit, and now we're hearing 5 different of the women here are going to the police. And so he's doing the dance of shame, Watson. He's doing the limbo, right? How low can you go? How low can you go? Which is appropriate because if you know the history of the limbo dance, it was originally done as a solemn dance. It was a slow dance. It was part of a ritual at wakes or funerals on the island of Trinidad. And then it got hijacked and it became a dance routine and whatnot. But originally it was for funerals, the limbo. Anyway, Watson's career is currently facing the old standing 8 count at this particular moment, and you don't need me to tell you that. Now, secondly, the lawsuit parade, right? We mentioned in a previous episode a conga line, right? Conga line of lawsuits. That's one problem, but he's like Jay-Z, the old song, he's got 99 of them. And that's just the tip of the spear. The fact that 5 of the civil accusers are talking to police in Houston, this is what's known as a hallmark moment in the Deshaun Watson story. Because depending on how those conversations go and depending on how much evidence, remember, there's a lot of evidence here on Instagram and also text message. So there's a digital paper trail, and based on what we've been hearing here, Watson didn't exactly clean up, and you can't really clean that up because it's a two-way street. You might clean up your side of the street, but the other person, they can do something else with their side. It's not like this stuff self-destructs once you send a message on Instagram or any of the other social media platforms. So this is going to turn this whole story upside down, depending on how it goes with detectives. He is facing serious legal jeopardy here that goes far and above the civil lawsuits. The civil lawsuits are a financial matter. He's got money. Right? Deshaun Watson, at this point, is taking a bubble bath in a tub filled with kerosene. All right? This is a highly combustible situation, and we are heading towards another flashpoint in the next couple of weeks. These things don't normally take all that long once you get the information, and you have to figure out, do we charge? Is there enough to charge Watson with a crime? And much like we said in the Aaron Donald case, the Ram player who is now at the crosshairs and at the mercy of the district attorney's office and the police in Pittsburgh, much like Aaron Donald is contacting through surrogates people who might need a donation, you would imagine Deshaun Watson is doing the same thing to try to avoid going to criminal court. Now, final thought. You have to appreciate how messed up this situation is. Like the chaos of it all. Deshaun Watson could have paid $100,000 to make the problem go away. You say, well, you should never pay off. If it's false charge, you should never pay off the person. But if it's true and Watson knew what he was doing, going around being a creepster, right? Being Rico Suave at the massage table, and he knew the possibility that this could blow up and did not pay the money, you spend a little bit and you save a lot. If you knew that there was more than one situation where you could be facing this type of situation. Unless he is such a dum-dum, he didn't even realize what he was doing was against the rules of the civilized society and all that. And so Deshaun made a bad decision. Bill O'Brien rubbed off on him. He punted instead of going for it. And the worst decision since Blockbuster failed to purchase Netflix back in the day, right? The legendary story. I don't even know if that's true or not, but the legend is they had a chance. Blockbuster Video was very big, and they had a chance to buy Netflix, and they didn't do it. Now he's at this point, Watson. He's a mouse on a treadmill, right? And the mouse on the treadmill is running and running and running and thinking he's making movement and going nowhere, right? This is a classical boondoggle. And even if Deshaun Watson at this point said, you know what? I made a mistake. I need to pay these people off. Even if he wanted to toss in the sponge at this point and say, you know what? Let's just end this. I'll cut a check. Fine. I'll cut 22 checks. It's mission impossible at this point. The reason why it's mission impossible is because you can't just pay off half the accusers. That would make no sense, because all it takes is one in a criminal situation and you're cooked, right? It's game over. That's it. You're done. But even the civil lawsuits, like let's say he said, I'll pay off 11, even if he wanted to pay off all 22 accusers, what are the odds they'd all take the check? Maybe they all would. I would say that at least a few of them would be holdouts and say, no, now it's personal because of things that Rusty Hardin had said, and some of the Deshaun Watson meathead fans that have been attacking the one woman who's been had her name out, and she had the news conference and all that. So anyway, so Watson really should update the calendar app on his phone, because I'm not sure the exact date on this, but the commissioner's exempt list is right around the bend there. You might want to put that on your calendar.